All right, good evening, traders. Welcome to our daily trade recap and market review for Wednesday, August 9th, 2023. Let's dive into the markets and take a look at what happened today. So on the day, we had SPY drop a decent amount today, 0.67%, down 3 points on SPY. If we're looking at the daily chart, we continue to stay below this 21 EMA, and we've come down all the way to this previous resistance, and that now flipped to support, and that's going to be the big area to hold. So if we can hold 44.4 and bounce off of that, then great. If we can't hold the 444 and we're going to come down here, we're going to test this 50 around 441, and then if that doesn't hold, we've got a little ways further to fall on the markets. So on the daily, continue to drop lower. We've got really another lower low forming here on the daily. On the weekly, it's still pulling back. MACD still rolling over. RSI still falling. You got a PSAR reversal signal this week. So we have a bearish looking weekly chart in process, and you've got definitely a bearish looking daily chart. So there's where we are on the markets. We could see more pain ahead, but we could also bounce from here. So we really got to keep an open mind. I think any bounce from here needs to be questioned, and we'll see if that indeed holds true. On the Qs today, again, a PSAR reversal signal this week on the weekly. And when we're looking at the daily, we've been in that since back here on July 21st. We continue to just sell down. We've had the first weekly, daily high, low, and now we've got another lower low. So we're moving down. We're definitely below the 21, heading to this 50 EMA down in here. So MACD's strongly negative, RSI strongly negative. We've got a definite downtrend in tech going on. And IWM hasn't seen any real benefits of anyone flocking to it over the SPYs or the Qs. On the weekly, it's breaking down even more here this week, rolling over on MACD and RSI. On the daily chart, we've got it also dropping below the 21. It couldn't make it past it yesterday. We tried to rally a bit and then failed today. We'll keep an eye on the 50 because I think that's our next target. So we're dropping down on these previous resistance, now support levels, breaking through these. So we'll see if it's not a look below and move ahead. We'll see what happens. But right now you got strong MACD to the downside, strong RSI to the downside. So nothing good on IWM here. If we take a look at the VIX today, it was pretty flat on the day. Really nothing happening in VIX. It was down just fractionally. It's really rolling over a bit when you look at the MACD here. So volatility really, not giving us any major scares on it. I mean, it ran up during the day, sold off, and nothing major on the VIX. Now, the dollar itself did have a chance to pop up a little bit today, but it was really unchanged, but popped up a small amount, and then after hours, we got it moving slightly higher, but really stuck in this little range right now here where it's just kind of consolidating around. We'll see if that leads to a higher break or a lower break. Right now, MACD is failing a bit and trying to roll over. And if we look at the weekly, it is breaking this downtrend, but is in a bearish PSAR mode right now. But you got MACD rising and RSI rising as well. So both of those are very bullish on the dollar. I think we could see the dollar continue to move higher, which is not going to be good for a lot of different things that we're watching out there. And today, the weekly, just inching ever so slightly higher on TLT as we look at bonds here. But We seem to have seen that MACD reversing way back here, and we've had a series of higher moves on TLT, RSI coming off of its oversold level. So I think you could see some definite TLT action continue. And if we take a look at the TMF, which is the 3X version of bonds, I mean, I think right now you've got a good opportunity to get long in here. I was really looking for on TLT a little bit of a double bottom, but I think we've pretty much gotten that right in here on TMF. We'll see RSI coming off of oversold levels and MACD swinging higher. Also saw an article today about potential short interest in TMF, leading to potentially a short squeeze in here. So I think if you want to play it and you've got the ability to do so, even though you've got to be careful of these 3X ETFs because of the volatility that can be in these and the fact that they just always will be declining. But if you get it trending, it can move substantially higher on you. So we can see a pretty good move. We've had one already. I don't know if we get a pullback and then a move higher, but I think TMF is a great way to get long in here. Looking at the futures, Aussie dollar down a fraction today. British pound down a fraction today, even though trying to move higher on the MACD and trying to hold this line. After hours were weak again. Euro tried to recover a little bit today on the euro, down a little bit in the after hours. Euro looks better than the British pound does in here. Oil on the day had a great day today. So we saw oil move up nicely on the day as it broke through this previous level here that we've come up to, bounce, couldn't break it today. Finally, a move higher. Now we've got new highs on RSI or on oil here, but RSI is not setting newer highs on these moves up. So this little divergence could mean that we got a little bit of a pullback potentially coming. I think I would welcome that pullback on both the weekly and the daily, but I am very bullish on oil overall. And then gold, taking a look at where gold is. Gold has had a pretty rough go of it lately and had another down day today. So gold down decently again today. No one's flying into gold as the market's coming down. MACD worsening, RSI worsening. So gold is continuing to sell off and a bit of a squeeze as these tight Bollinger Bands are now starting to open up. If the downside move is in, that we're going to keep moving that direction. Same thing on the weekly, tight Bollinger Bands starting to open up. We could see a significant downside in gold or the upside. Either way, volatility is increasing on gold. And then last thing I want to touch base on, we'll touch base on bonds and nat gas. And bonds, we've already talked about TLT, so we know where we are on bonds. They are moving higher, MACD moving higher from this oversold area here. I think you can get a bit more bullish on bonds. But I really wanted to see this double bottom down here about the 117 level. Let's take a look at nat gas, and nat gas having a good bunch of sessions in here lately. Today, pretty good move higher, breaking the 3 almost the 3 mark here intraday. So intraday high 3.018. So broke the 3, couldn't maintain it. Down a little, a fraction, just a fraction in after hours. We'll see how this thing continues to handle. Bullish PSAR signal, MACD rising, RSI rising, and then the same thing on the weekly. You've got MACD making this nice reversal here, and RSI starting to climb on a PSAR buy signal this week. So nat gas getting a little ramped up, ready to go. Is the move in or is there more to go? We touched that 3 ATR today, backed off it a bit. We'll keep an eye on where things go. with nat gas. We do have a strangle and a 112 trade on in here. I think I'd like to see it come back down, touch off the 21, and then make another move higher as opposed to going straight up. But we'll keep an eye on nat gas. Look at some of these stocks out there. Amazon today down decently on the day. Amazon down 1.49%. MACD is rolling over with RSI on the daily and has been weaker lately on the weekly. So even though it's setting new highs, MACD has been showing some weakness, and RSI is not matching these highs with the last couple. So that means could we be running out of steam? We'll see. It's well above the 21. Nothing to get too worried about on Amazon. I think any pullback is great on Amazon. Now, Apple, on the other hand, has broken through the 21, broken through the 50, had another down day today as it hangs out in this tighter range. I think you could see the 200 EMA as something of a possibility. However, RSI pretty oversold, but MACD's still falling. So I don't think the move in Apple is over yet. I don't think it's time to just jump in and get long. If we look at where things are on Microsoft as well, this thing has just been on a pretty good selling run here. MACD tried to start to reverse, then accelerated again today on the down day, breaking through some supports in here. So we are seeing Microsoft and Apple really dragging this market down. We are not at an oversold level yet on RSI, but we'll keep an eye on where things go. On Meta, another pretty good down day, breaking through the 21 EMA. So we're going to keep an eye on where Meta may head to next. The 50 EMA would be the next spot that would trigger a PSAR bearish signal. We are below the 21. Pretty weak support down in here, but we'll see if we get down to this 290 level or so. But I think you've got a little bit more to go on Meta. RSI heading lower, but not oversold. MACD heading lower. Weeklies all heading lower here as the momentum is coming out. So I think Meta has some downside to go. Google, decently above the 21 EMA, even with a down day today. You've got, again, momentum is just coming out of tech stocks. I think Google's got plenty of space here to find some potential support in here. So the first line is going to be this 127, which is also going to be the 21 EMA. Then you're going to have about this 123 level where the 50 EMA is and this uptrend line. Then you've got the 20 to 200 way down here. So Google, like Amazon, are in the best shape of the bunch. We're going to see how those hold up. Apple, Microsoft, Meta, NVIDIA, all looking weak here. NVIDIA broke the 21 EMA, came all the way down almost to the 50. It may not be done. You're starting to see Bollinger Bands might want to open up here as volatility increases. The weekly does not look good at all on NVIDIA. I think you got pullback coming. You've already broken some levels. MACD told you here that momentum was coming out, even though it popped a little bit higher. But now MACD could break the zero line on the histogram, and the RSI is already moving from overbought down. So I think NVIDIA has some pain on its way. And if we're looking at Tesla on the weekly and the daily, same type of thing, big rollover here on the RSI and the MACD. So you got Tesla pulling back. You're fraction away from setting up PSAR reversal bearish signal, which could happen tomorrow if we open the morning down at all. And then if we look at the daily chart over on this side on it, MACD continues its fall. You've got it breaking the zero line with the MACD line. So that broke already 3 sessions ago. RSI heading to oversold, but not there yet. So I think there could be some more downside to Tesla as these Bollinger Bands did open and are continuing to fall. So I think the next spot here is if we can't hold this 240 level, 241 level, then obviously I think we're going to take a look down here around the 220-ish level where the 200 EMA is as our next target. So we got some downside possibilities. Keep a lookout. I did alert members today about end phase. While the weekly chart looks a little scary down here, you're getting you're just riding the bottom of this Bollinger Band, but I think you're starting to get close to oversold. You might have a little more downside to go, but a pretty nice candle on this weekly. But on the daily, RSI very oversold and starting to reverse higher. MACD reversing higher. You know I like leaps. We're past the 3 ATR. I think this is as good a spot to sell either credit, put credit spreads. I would want to be in a credit spread with defined risk if I'm doing short term, like 30 DTE, or I would be looking at adding some more leaps in here on end phase. Doesn't mean it can't go down further, but I think you've got a little bit of a break on the daily coming, and we'll see if the weekly can join in on that. And then my last thing here is taking a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in this little, flag, trend channel here. Broke out this week, starting to curl back up on the RSI on the weekly. But if we're looking at the daily, you can pretty clearly see us breaking through this downtrend channel that we're in. So this flag, we had the sideways flag, broke down, and now we've got this sideways, channel. Now we broke above the 21 yesterday. We hung in there today, a little bit of a rest, breakdown day. PSAR bullish reversal. You've got an uptrend going in here. You're right in between. This is a good spot for Bitcoin. I think it's something I would keep an eye on. MACD reversing. Looks like it's about to go positive. RSI has been moving up on this, confirming higher highs on RSI as we start to make this breakout here. So I think it's a good look for Bitcoin. We can play it through Monster. I don't know why I say Monster. MicroStrategy. We can play it by MicroStrategy, which is where we like to play the leaps. You can also keep an eye on Coin here, but it does not look as good as Bitcoin itself. So Coin, I think, looks more like it's in trouble a bit. So I'm not touching this as a proxy. But MicroStrategy, I will keep an eye on this thing. I think we could be getting some reversal here. Let's jump into the account for the day and take a look where we ended up. So Delta ended up at 588. We did try to make some moves to squash the Delta from getting too out of control. I would really like to get more negative Delta, but I have a lot of leaps and some other trades on that are all giving me positive Delta. So it's been a bit hard to keep this down. Now, 0.21, 0.2 is our max. 0.21, I mean, we're fractionally away, but I really don't want to see this thing get any higher than it is here. Theta, 742, 0.26%. It's a little low, but I think that's what we can do right now. Netlick dropped just a fraction on the day with the markets dropping. And then BPUs dropped pretty good on the day, down to 51%. So we're sitting right at that 50%. It looks pretty good. By putting some hedges on, which we went long on ES puts, we also added some SPX butterflies there. So we did add some negative Delta trades. Those also helped ease our BP. And then we closed out a trade for $720 winner today. We're up $2,000 and realized on the month, 0.72%. So we're 1/4 of the way to our monthly goal. So we're up $2,000 on the month. And today's trade was a gold strangle. So yesterday we closed an ES strangle at 50%. Today we took off one of our weekly strangles to get us down to 3 because I'm trying to really change the strategy up a bit. I want to size up on gold, so I can't keep 4 working and close them weekly. However, 41% winner on this one in 28 days, $720 in the bank. So another good winner for our weekly strangles here. We'll turn it green. We'll add it to the count. but a nice go here, 16% return on capital. So last 2 days, Strangle's just paying off fantastic. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you in the markets tomorrow. Keep your hedges on. Keep an eye on TLT or TMF, and let those 112s do their thing. Let's get into the trap and make some money. All right, if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. Subscribe if you're not already a member here or subscriber here on YouTube, and we'll see you guys later. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.